Hello friends, welcome back to Carla's Kitchen. Making a very simple dish tonight. We're going to do steak and potatoes with a side salad. So what I've got laid out here, we're going to do potatoes using fresh potatoes. If you're looking for a different way to have potatoes instead of just mashed or oven baked, these are smashed potatoes is what we're going to do tonight. So you want to have relatively small, sometimes called bite-sized potatoes. Any flavor will do. I happen to have Golds here with me, but I've done it with red potatoes, Purple Majesties, the variety bags as well. They all taste great done this way. So go with your taste and your preferences. And similar with the cut of meat that you like. I'm in luck. My favorite cut is ribeye, and those were on sale this week. So bonus. The other things that we'll need to have is some black pepper, cracked or already ground, your choice, garlic salt, and olive oil. If you don't have a sprayer, that's fine. You can get by without it. I prefer to use this type of sprayer. Again, I'm not sponsored by these folks, but I do find that this sprayer, it doesn't use any propellants. It's just the trigger that makes the spray work. So I like to use that because you're just getting the oil, and it puts out a nice fine mist, so you get good coverage with it as well. I am using a smoke flavor as well as some Cajun seasoning for the steak. So I've kind of separated the spices based on what portion of the dish they go with. And then the other element to this dinner would just be a side salad, is how I'm serving it tonight. So I'm going to assume everybody knows what a side salad is. I'm not really showing how to do all of that part. The first thing you want to do is obviously clean your hands and all the good stuff, clean your work area, but get your steaks out so they can come up to room temperature. You want to have those sit out for about half an hour. While steaks are coming up to temperature, wash your potatoes and go ahead and start those boiling in a pot. You want to get them boiled so that they are soft. You should be able to stab a fork, toothpick, or something in there to get those. I'm sorry, the dogs are excited for dinner, so they're walking all around as I'm doing this. Fork tender. You want them to basically be mashing consistency when they're done. So get your potatoes boiling, get your steaks coming up to room temperature. While the potatoes are on the oven, on the stove top to boil, I'm going to go ahead and add seasoning to the steaks while they're coming up to room temperature. It doesn't matter if they're already room temperature or not. That portion is for the cooking. So I'm going to go ahead and get those seasoned up. So that step is ready as well. And then once the potatoes are boiled to the correct tenderness, this dish comes together pretty quickly. Alrighty, potatoes are on the stove top boiling. I'm just going to shake up the smoke flavor here, and go as heavy or as light as you like. If you don't like the smoke flavor, omit this step. I'm going to be using the indoor grill to cook my steaks, and so I like to have a little bit of extra flavor kind of sear into them. Especially when I do this during the winter time, it kind of tricks you into thinking it's summertime when you have fresh grilled steaks. And I just do clean hand, dirty hand, so I keep one of my hands clean so that I can touch the other stuff. But you really want to make sure that the seasoning, kind of gets into the meat a little bit. And then again, with the Cajun seasoning or whatever type of seasoning you like, go across, and as heavy or as light as you prefer. Shake it all around and then rub it in pretty good. Make sure it sticks, especially on the fatty parts. You want to make sure that that's going to have extra good flavor when you're all done. Just kind of rubbing it into the grain here a little bit. And we're going to get that all done up. And then with your dirty hand, go ahead and flip them over. So we want to season both sides of the meat. Lather, rinse, repeat. As much or as little of the seasoning as you prefer. Always cook to your taste or the taste of those in your household you're cooking for. Make sure you get it all around there. I like these steaks because they have a lot of fat on them, and Fat is what gives you flavor as you're going through and cooking. You don't necessarily have to eat it, but it does add tenderness and flavor to the steak itself. And hey, if you like the mignon without fat, that's you. Do you. I'm not here to convert anybody. I'm just cooking to my taste and sharing how I do it. Okay, so get the seasonings all rubbed in. Somebody's outside doing yard work. Sorry about that noise. And then we're just going to let those sit while the potatoes finish boiling. And go ahead, if you're grilling like I am, you're going to want to preheat your grill and get that ready. And drain off the potatoes once they're to the desired consistency. Alrighty friends, the potatoes are finished boiling. We've got them to the right consistency. I've just dumped them through the strainer to get all the hot water out. I've gotten out a sheet pan. I like to use the pint glass for smashing. It's got a nice thick bottom on it. Works pretty well for me. So I've got sheet pan, pint glass, strained potatoes. Olive oil is what I'm using. You want something with a higher smoke point. Pardon the background noise, that's my grill heating up. You want to have whatever you're cooking your steaks on starting to heat up at this stage because the rest of it goes pretty quickly. I've also got my garlic salt and fresh ground pepper. So the first thing I'm going to do is spray down the baking sheet, and today I'm not using any parchment. I'm just going to work straight on the sheet pan. And you want to make sure it's all covered because you're going to spread the potatoes out and you don't want anything to stick. Now the next thing I'm going to do is similar to how I did the steaks, I went seasoning on both sides. So I'm going to go ahead and season the pan itself before I move on to the next step. I'm throwing down some garlic salt. Go as heavy or as light as you like. If you don't like garlic, just use regular salt. Potatoes are very bland, so you want to add some kind of flavor to them before you get going. And then I'm just going to go in with my cracked fresh pepper. Taking the colander potatoes, I'm just going to dump it straight onto the sheet pan. Really simple. Spread them out just a little bit and try to pick them up and move them so you're not moving all of the seasoning with them. They're hot, so you might want to use a utensil. Seems like a smart thing to do, but here we are. I'm doing it using my hands. Okay. And we're going to spread those all around. So as I said, they're smashed potatoes, so each potato needs a little bit of space around it in order to pull off this next portion. We're going to actually smash the potatoes. If you don't have a pint glass, you can use, the back of a heavy spoon or something like that. And the last thing I like to do is I spray my counter apparently, spray the bottom of the pint glass so that the potatoes don't stick too bad when you go to smash them, and then just start smashing. Pops right off. And what this is going to give you is a combination of crispy edges on the potatoes, and you'll still have that soft center that's almost like a mash, so you kind of get the best of both worlds with this. Get all of your potatoes smashed down evenly, as even as you can. Occasionally they'll stick, just pop it and it comes right off. That's what spraying the bottom of the glass does for you. Trust me, I speak from experience. The first time I tried this, I did not spray the bottom of the glass, and potatoes are sticking a lot more to the glass than they are right now. So just a little bit of pressure and they come right off. So again, get them all smashed evenly. Make sure they have a little bit of space around them. You don't even need to preheat your oven for this because you're going to use the broiler setting. So just when you pop in the tray, turn it on. No, the last step before we do that is we're going to actually go ahead and spray all of the potatoes again on the top side. The oil will give you a little bit more flavor and a little bit more crisp. And then of course we're going to season the top side of the potatoes as well. Again, I like the garlic salt. It adds just a little bit extra flavor. If you're not a fan of garlic, use regular salt. I would definitely salt and pepper these because they're just boiled potatoes, and boiled potatoes really have no flavor. So you want to get all your seasoning across all of the potatoes here. sure it's nice and covered to your taste. And then come in again with the pepper, so they don't just taste like salt. Just balance out your seasonings. And that's it, friends. I'm gonna pop this in, and I have my oven rack set to a high setting so that it'll hold them right up under the broiler, and broil them for about 15 minutes. You know, it's to your liking. About the same time you put the steaks on is when I would pop these into the oven. That way the steaks are ready a few minutes before. I always let them go 15 minutes. I just set a timer and set it and forget it. The steaks usually take no more than 10 minutes, so I can pull the steaks off, have them rest for 5 before the potatoes even come out of the oven, and then everything's kind of ready at the same time. In the interim, you can pop together your side salad while everything's, you know, cooking, and then dinner is ready. Okay, all the hard work is done. The steaks are on the grill cooking. The potatoes are in the oven broiling. I've got the side salad ready to go. My plates are ready for the meat to rest when it comes off the grill. And I've got pop holders out to set the potatoes on. So now we just kick back and relax. Alright friends, easy peasy nice dinner for Saturday or weekend. You can even pull it off on a weeknight as long as you have about an hour to boil the potatoes. That honestly is the part that takes the longest. So get your potatoes boiling first, and then you can bring your meat out to get to room temperature and season it. Get your salad prepped while everything else is cooking. I did 10 minutes on the grill, 5 on each side for the steaks. Cook them to your liking, of course, and you know, adjust that based on the size and type of steak that you have. And I did 15 minutes in the broiler, like I said, once the potatoes were smashed and seasoned. And you know, that's to my desired crispiness. You cook them however crispy or not that you like them. And of course, don't forget your local vegetarian and do a Morningstar covered in cheese or whatever it is that they like that's not meat. But if you are a carnivore like myself and steak makes your mouth water, then go for it. It's a nice dish. I like having the potatoes this way. It's the texture, it's the seasoning, it's everything, and then, you know, a little salad so you feel good about yourself at the end of the night. So that's it for today. I hope you try out at least the smashed potatoes and let me know, you know, how it goes for you, if you enjoy them or you prefer potatoes a different way. See you soon. Thank you.